There we go. And with that, Heather, I'm going to turn it over to you. It is that
Okay,
beautiful 5 o'clock hour, and you know I am nothing if not on time. So I say
absolutely.
we're
Well,
going to
we always have
start.
so much to cover, so let
I
me get some of
know.
this kind of, presentation piece out of the way so we can get to the cooking piece.
To the
Just a
fun
few
stuff.
housekeeping guidelines. Just, you guys, your microphones have all been muted just to minimize background noises. We also turn off our cameras so that we can focus all of our attention on Chef Alyssa and what she's cooking. But if you do have any questions as we go along, please put them into the chat box. As you can see, Allison and I will be monitoring that. We're here for you. We want you to ask if you need a substitution or anything like that. Can give you some ideas and punt those questions over to Chef as we're going through it. But by way of introduction, this is your team that's with you today. We've got, first and foremost, Chef Alyssa Moreau, who's a personal chef. She's got decades of experience. We're so thankful to have her because she just has this magical way of making healthy food taste good. You don't even realize you're eating healthy because it just tastes like all the other food that you're eating. So we're so grateful for her to share her knowledge, her experience, her tips and tricks, and more importantly, her recipes with us. So thank you for that. And then we've got Allison and myself. We are both wellness coaches with Kaiser. We got Allison on the Big Island, myself over on Maui, Alyssa's over on Oahu. So we are a well-represented team for you. And we also want to take a look at why are we all here? Why is this kind of culinary medicine concept so important? And more specifically, what they call whole foods, plant-based. And there is quite a bit to get excited about. First and foremost, this diet is really the only one scientifically proven to prevent and reverse diseases, right? That's huge. Prevent and reverse disease, type 2 diabetes, coronary artery disease. This is a really big deal, and it means that we can be empowered and take control over the direction and do as much as we can to influence, right, the progression of disease. So what is whole food plant-based? It actually celebrates food in its most natural form, closest to the way that it was grown. Think about fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, nuts, and seeds. Most of the time, these are going to be things that are not multi-processed, right? They're not filled with refined sugars or white flours or animal-derived foods, right? All of that extra stuff creates a load that our bodies have to process, and that can be very taxing over time. So we want to kind of eat clean and as close to the earth, or as I sometimes say, the way our ancestors would recognize food. Now, this can be a little bit challenging for most of us, right? We've had these patterns in place for a very long time. And that's why we like to share these phrases here on the screen. These were coined actually by Michael Pollan. He's an American author and a journalist. He's written extensively about food and health. And he came up with this: eat food, not too much, and mostly plants. So I think that kind of distills everything we're saying down into that simple phrase. You can put that on a post-it note, put it on top of the fridge, and it'll be a great reminder for you. Um, and while we do hope that today's class is going to plant some seeds of curiosity about healthier cooking, we also want to share some additional resources with you. One of them is a video series that Stanford School of Medicine put together in 2016 called Food and Health. We strongly encourage you to check this out. It's really short videos, right? 3 to 5 minutes, series of 17 videos, gives really practical skills, information, kind of the why we want to start moving in this direction. And it can just be kind of reinforcing to some of the information that you're learning here. So I just put that into the chat, so you can just click on that and maybe save it for later. I also want to draw your attention to some of the handouts that were included in your email for this, specifically this one, plant-based healthy plate. So at Kaiser, we follow the healthy plate guidelines. In general, that means making half of our plate dedicated to vegetables, a fourth of it to our protein. In this class, we're focusing on plant-based protein, such as beans and lentils and tofu. And then a fourth of your plate with a whole grain starch. Now today we're talking about pastas, so we're going to be exploring more whole wheat pastas and different type of grain pastas than maybe what you've been used to before. The main thing to not overcomplicate this is really, if you see some color looking back at you from the plate, you know that you're moving in the right direction. And if you're interested in learning more about this, we also have our awesome registered dietitians. They teach an entire 90-minute class just on this concept with different styles of eating. So we'll talk more about those classes at the end of our time together today. Before we get into the cooking fun, I'm just going to pull up at least the first recipe, or I can pull them all up in order depending upon what we want, so that she can briefly just review the ingredients. As a reminder, your email invitation to join class has links to each of these recipes. So you should already have them. Allison's usually really fantastic about also adding them into the chat, so you can also pull them up there, maybe take a screenshot of them while we have them on the screen. Just want to make sure you have the information in your hand. We also want to acknowledge there might be a range of people attending tonight, right? For some of you, you're here for the first time. Others of you have been with us for quite a while. So you're all at different stages of making this shift and this change. So, you know, we're all about supporting you with the knowledge, the resources to move in the direction that you choose at the pace that you want to choose. The recipes that she's sharing are very adaptable to personal tastes and preferences. And again, she can share more about that if you have questions into the chat. And please put your questions into the chat as we go along. So we hope you'll be inspired and prioritize cooking at home more often. Just congratulate yourself for being here. Enjoy watching and listening. And this is just a quick reminder of what that email looks like and where you can click to access the recipes that we'll be covering. Whew. Think I got it all, Allison?
You did that beautifully. Really
All
great.
right.
Now it's time
Very
for
good.
chef.
I'm for chef. So let me pull up
Mm-hmm.
the first recipe. I know she's going to be starting with this creamy Alfredo Stroganoff sauce. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. You want to talk us through this one first?
Yes, sorry, I'm
Okay.
running back and forth between cooking the
Because you're
pasta.
cooking pasta.
I'm cooking pasta.
Okay.
Yeah, so with the creamy Alfredo, I did a slash stroganoff because it's just a creamy non-dairy sauce that you can plug in with either one of those type of recipes that you may have. The creaminess is coming from silken tofu, which is kind of fun. I've got this initially from a cookbook called Vegetarian Nights, which is, I've talked about it before. It's no longer in print, but you can get it, you know, through the used book online
I
sites.
do love that cookbook. It was based in Hawaii too, right? The
Yes,
author.
she was from
Yeah.
Maui. Yes,
Yeah.
and I think she's now
I
on the
have it.
mainland. Um, Anyway, so we're going to saute up some mushrooms in a little bit of, I have earth balance and a little bit of olive oil kind of combination. You can also just adapt this however you want, but this is kind of tweaking what she did. And I enjoy the flavor so much, so I didn't want to go too far off base from her original recipe. Bonnie Mondo is her name. So we're going to saute some mushrooms. And then we're going to blend up a sauce with silken tofu and garlic and some tamari, or you could do shoyu or Bragg's. We're also going to saute up some spinach after the mushrooms, and then we're going to combine it with fettuccine rice noodles, which I have cooked, and we can talk about that too when it's time that we're actually cooking.
Okay, then I will
All
bring
right.
this down so we can showcase the pan. There we go.
And you guys can chat in if you see that in the center of your screen now. Hopefully you do. And if you don't,
We're gonna go
let
ahead and
us know.
start. Is that what
Yeah,
the
yeah,
okay?
there we go.
All right.
It's front and center, ready to watch you cook.
All right, very good. So the recipe calls for a pound of mushrooms, but you know, I was shopping today, and a pound of mushrooms is a lot of mushrooms. That's like 2 boxes of mushrooms. So you might want to just kind of maybe adjust that to a box of mushrooms, because this is like a box of mushrooms. It's a good amount sliced. So you can just, you know, kind of adjust this recipe to what works for you. I've got some olive oil started in the pan. Let me just put in this earth balance, which has been out. And again, you can do whatever amount you desire here. One thing I've learned when cooking mushrooms is that it's kind of good not to crowd them. So depending on what pan you have, you might want to just get them all kind of on an even layer. Let them cook. And then you can do, if it's, you can't get them all in, then just do a second round. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Cindy? Absolutely. Yep.
Okay. All right.
Sounds good.
Sometimes
Don't crowd the pan.
Don't crowd them. Don't crowd those shrooms. Okay. And if you're not, if you're going to drop down, I know some people have different kinds of diets going on. If you want to drop down the mushrooms in the oil and they're starting to stick, right now I'm using an induction heater, so I only have certain pans that I can use for showcasing this recipe. So it's not a non-stick pan. If you're trying to reduce oil, you could use a non-stick pan. If it's starting to stick, one thing you can do with mushrooms to let them release a little bit of liquid and get them from not sticking to the pan is you can put a little salt on your mushrooms, and that will make them sweat out some of their juices, and then it makes it easier to.
I had heard,
release them
Chef,
from the
that
pot.
I've heard don't salt your mushrooms till it's close to the end. Not about the sweating them out, but have you heard that? Like when you're supposed to add your salt to mushrooms, does it really matter?
I've heard like every single thing.
Right? I like this new tip though, if you need a little
Yeah.
more moisture and not oil in there.
Yeah. So
It's
you
kind of
kind
a
of
good
want to
idea.
get them brown. You can see that they're nice and brown on one side. But I'm going to, if you had the time, you could, individually turn them if you want. But I'm going to, at this point, turn them, saute them a little bit more. Turn up the temperature a little bit. Go check my pasta real quick. Please bear with me for the third pasta. Okay, so that's sauteing.
This is what I love. Sometimes we think we need the extra steps, and when you're cooking, you're adding them on that watch, getting more steps every time, back and forth. We're getting exercise watching Chef Alyssa doing her thing.
Exactly. Well, and I'm guessing too, you could probably do different mushrooms as well, whether it's white button or these look
These are
like
cremini.
crimini. Yeah.
Yeah. And the reason why I chose cremini today is because this is a white sauce. So I thought, just so it's just not.
Oh, it stands out a little bit.
Yes, exactly. So
Good
this
thinking.
gives it a nice umami flavor. We got a nice bit of garlic in there.
Pretty color.
Yeah. And then we got some spinach after that. So what I'm going to do now that these look like they're nicely browned, a little golden, because what we're doing, I'm going to transfer these guys here. Into a serving dish. And then I'm going to saute spinach. Okay, I'm just going to put just a little bit. You don't need that much spinach. The reason why I don't do them together is because spinach releases a lot of liquid. I don't know if you know that when you cook it and it sits, it tends to really let out a lot of juice. So I usually do it separate and then let it drain well, unless I want it. Get the that moisture into my sauce.
That's spinach sauce.
Spinach sauce. Okay. Thank you.
And I really loved, you really are demonstrating how little often we think we need so much oil and we glug, glug, glug it away. And you just give it you can always add more, but you can't take it away. Right. So this is what I enjoy with your cooking.
Absolutely. And it's a great way to get our greens in, right?
I know.
Yeah, and I want to talk a little bit about the pasta that I made. I made a rice fettuccine. I'm going to let this saute some more. This is, let me know if I'm right side up or, yeah. Am I right? That's right. You can read it?
Perfect. Yep.
Okay, this is Cadia brand. What's Cadia? Where's Cadia? Where do I buy that?
Whole
Oh,
Foods, does it
I
look
think
like?
it's
No?
Whole Foods.
Yeah, I think
I
they're,
think you're right. I'm trying to remember. Times, I think, might be doing this too. But yeah, so this is gluten-free fettuccine brown rice pasta. I really like this brand. It kind of reminds me of like pad thai noodles. That kind of nice, kind of soft. They hold up well. So
I
that
always,
brand I cooked, and they have some like an energy efficient way of cooking too, which is kind of fun, where you can boil the water in 7 to 10 minutes. You can also turn it off. Oh no, that's Tinkyada. Tinkyada and Cadia. They're both really nice brands. You can actually cook it for a while, then you can just turn off the heat and leave it in the cooking water, and it will continue cooking. So it's kind of a novel way to reduce your energy.
and reduce if you're like me, always the pan bubbling up and over because you're not paying attention to how much boiling's going on. So that would work for me.
So I've got this fan. I'm just going to do this because I've got my second. This can be the after effect. So I've got my mushrooms. I got my spinach cooked. I've got my pasta cooked. And I am going to make my sauce. First, I want to check. I'm making a chickpea fusilli that will go on our, wait, what is this going on? This is going on our pesto today. So we'll talk about this further, but I just want to go get it out of the water real quick. Give me a moment and I'll be all yours.
And I think it's always interesting that sometimes whenever I'm making noodles, it just, because you cut the idea of the dry noodles in your hand, and I throw in a lot, and then I realize how much more it makes, kind of like rice, right? We forget that it gets bigger in size once it's cooked, and maybe everyone else is a little smarter than I am, but paying attention how many people you're serving.
Yeah. So with I know we were talking before the class about rinsing noodles, not rinsing
Yes.
noodles, that whole concept. So with rice noodles, you're going to want to rinse it. Another point that came up is with rice noodles, the water can get cloudy. Kind of, how would you describe that, Heather?
Yeah, I feel like it just looks kind of murky, kind of bubbles up. You might be thinking, what is in here? It looks a little strange if you're
So,
not used to it, but be
yeah, it's the
patient.
starch
Yeah.
from the
Starchy
rice.
water. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So this is the final product. It is rinsed and it will start getting sticky. So you can also just put water over it if it starts getting too sticky. I'm going to put this down and I want to finish the mushrooms and show you how to do the sauce, and then we'll combine it all together. Yeah, delicious. Okay, so the sauce, I'm going to just let this do its thing. The sauce is made with silken tofu. So you can buy this Mori New silken tofu, which I got at Times. Whoop, it's got a little water in it. I just watered the mushrooms. I thought I drained it all. So I opened it up. I drained the water out. So let me go drain it. This
I don't know.
is
Yeah, go ahead.
10.9 ounces. So the recipe from Bonnie calls for 12 ounces silken tofu. So I'm going to adjust the show you a tamari. So I'm going to do tamari. I'm going to do 3 tablespoons instead of a fourth of a cup. Fourth of a cup is 4 tablespoons. If anyone is not familiar with the conversions.
That was always a helpful one. Just in case you don't have it, that's for some reason I can always remember that 4 tablespoons in a quarter cup.
Yeah.
But anything above that is too many tablespoons to try to figure out. But that's a good
Right.
one.
And then I chopped up a bunch of garlic for all the recipes. So
Mhm.
I'm just going to put in some garlic in here. Give it up. It's a garlicky night for sure. Okay. So
What is
this
pasta
is,
without garlic, right?
I
Right.
know. So this is the silken tofu, tamari, and the garlic. And I am going to plug this in. I have one of these like mini bullety food processor. This is actually a Cuisinart. So looks like this. I'm going to go do it in the kitchen.
Okay.
And I'm going to turn this off. Multitasking, it's a good challenge. Okay.
Yes. And you know what I love about this idea is that we miss creamy. We think when we're trying to be healthy, I'm really excited. We just tofu, there's so many ways and it adds such a variety, like in our desserts when she did it in a dessert and now for pasta. So it's very exciting. I'm really looking forward to seeing this silken tofu as my creamy sauce. Now she's kind of getting that ready. Feel free to chat in. Has anyone ever tried tofu with pasta this way? Is this a new concept for you? Because it certainly was for me, and I
It's for me
really was
too.
excited. Yeah, so
I have
it's
not tried tofu in pasta sauce before. So eat natto with pasta.
yes,
There you go.
yeah. Mm. But different thing, but this is great because the idea of stroganoff or creamy or white sauce, and of course because she's a good chef, thinking the brown mushrooms will look good in the white sauce. How great is
Mm-hmm.
that? You know, so those
Yeah.
little touches.
When you're cutting out all the saturated fats,
Yep.
right, from all the heavy
Look at
creams
that.
and everything.
Yep.
Yep.
Nice and creamy.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful.
And boy, I guess I should just go back to when I got the spinach, I chopped it before I sauteed it. I know it says chop fresh spinach. Sometimes I do the whole thing, I chop it after. But so what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine all this. Take this off. Let's see, can I move this here?
Your
Front and
versatile
center.
kitchen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Looks great.
Okay, very good. So I'm going to pour some of this sauce in. Going to just kind of do it based on how much pasta I have, yeah. But I'm kind of, I personally am a saucy girl, so
I'm a saucy girl
I
too. I'm like,
can't,
oh, she's my kind of lady there.
yeah,
But you could
that's
always add
kind
more
of a lot.
noodles. Yeah, if you needed
Yes,
in
and
the
it
long
will
run.
keep absorbing, but that's
Yep.
not going to add anymore. Good amount. And then I've got the mushrooms, just part of them. So I've got these. And then what I tend to do personally is I tend to always keep a little on the, well, I try to, if I'm being real mindful, some on the top for just the visual presentation. So you can mix it in, some mushrooms and spinach. Oh my God, that looks delicious.
It looks so hearty and delicious. It really does. It looks like something, and you normally, we can break that link, Heather. We're not thinking that it's a bad thing, that it's comfort food. We have healthy food here. Good
Yep, and you think about
choices.
how much protein is in here, right? There's
I
more
know.
protein in the noodles, there's whole grains, there's protein in
Right.
the tofu that's in the sauce.
Yep.
So, plus you got all the additional nutrients in there.
Some
So,
fiber in the
yeah,
spinach.
you can still feel like that little bit of guilt coming up, like, oh no, I don't know if I should eat it. And yet you can be like, yes, I'm
I
really doing
can.
something good for my body. I can.
Yeah.
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 If you want it spicy, you can add a little bit of chili, cayenne, chili flakes.
And it really
This is
serves a
just,
lot. I mean, look at that would
yeah,
feed the three of us in a nice
yeah,
way, or,
yeah.
beautifully.
Nice salad. So there you
Wonderful.
go.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
All
Okay.
right. What do you think, you guys? Seem doable?
I know, something you're going to put into your
Not too
your
many ingredients in
rotation.
this one, which is nice. Yep.
Okay. So we will leave this one on the side
I'm going to
for
have you put it just right there for 1 second. Pull it towards you.
here.
Right there,
There
just
we
so I
go.
can
And
take a
up.
quick. Yes, that's beautiful.
Screenshot. Okay. Let me get my arms
Screen.
out of the.
There we go. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So I will move that again. This is rice fettuccine pasta. And it has, for 8 servings, each serving has 4 grams of protein. So, and the box of tofu, 1 whole box, whoosh, will that tell me? It has 3.5 servings per box, and it has 8 grams, 6, oh yes, 8 grams of protein per serving. So you're getting a good amount. I think mushrooms has protein too, doesn't it?
Let's take a look.
Did I lose you?
Nope,
Okay.
we're
good.
here.
All right. Okay. So we're going to then.
It has not a lot, but it has a little, just so you know. It has a little touch.
Oh,
so.
mushrooms. Yeah. Okay.
1 medium at 0.6 grams.
Ah, okay. All right. So we're going to move on. If anybody has any questions, I know I move kind of fast.
No, well, we got an hour and 3 recipes. So Heather, do you want to put that one up and then I can quickly
yeah.
screenshot it and she can be cooking and I can put it over on the side if we need?
Will do. Okay, see it?
There we
Yeah.
go.
And so I'm just going to, this pan has a lot of flavor in it. I'm just going to keep working with it. I'm not going to rinse it. So I hope you don't mind. It's got a little salt and a little bit of spinach down there, but yeah, it'll add to our Puttanesca sauce. Oh, no. I'm using the small pot. Excuse me.
So, we can, as she's getting it, maybe just in this one, this has a couple of tablespoons of olive oil. She's got her garlic, got the olives that's going to be excited. Maybe you'll talk a little bit about the tomatoes as you're going. I just want her to be able to set up. Capers, my favorite. I feel like we're going to Italy right now. Some basil, some red pepper flakes, and some pasta sauce or tomato sauce, 2 tablespoons. You're going to have to clarify when it says 2 tablespoons of pasta sauce or tomato. You just mean...
I did like a marinara sauce.
Yes. Okay, great.
Yeah, and that's
Here.
tablespoon. Thank you.
Okay.
And I love that this is a 1 pot again.
Me
right?
too.
Just kind of
Look
cooking
at
up
that.
1 pot.
Perfect. And there it is. It's like magic.
Wait. I cooked up some, I got these, I just thought they looked so good. I've always kind of had this weakness for rigatoni, call it tube pasta.
A little
And
farther, closer for us to see it, if
yeah,
you
let
don't
me
mind.
open it up. So it is, I think I got this at Whole Foods. It's product of Italy, rigatoni
There you
pasta.
go.
So
Beautiful.
when this is what it looks like. So it's a tube. Well, let's see. How do I do that? Is there contrast?
That's okay. You've got to move it back towards the pot. There you go, right there.
So when you cook it, though, it gets this big. It really expands. I don't know. I can't really tell. Well, okay, here we go.
And that's what I was saying. You think you get excited when you see them when you're cooking it, and then they all expand. So just remember that when you're making your servings.
I just love it because all the sauce goes kind of in that tube. Yeah, that's just pasta's fun,
It is fun.
Like a kid,
There's so many
right?
different shapes to choose from.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So, okay, so this one is, I've been making this one for a long time. I love it. If you're an olive fan and you like spicy food, it doesn't have to be super spicy, but it's got a little kick, garlicky. And one of the things I do with it too is I've made like stuffed shells and put Puttanesca sauce over stuffed shells. That's kind of fun. So, you can take it just beyond just putting over pasta. So I've got the rigatoni already cooked and warm, sitting here on the side. This is really easy. It's combined all in the saucepan, so it can't get too much easier than that. I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil, and if you're avoiding, trying to decrease oil, you can do this without oil because it's a 1-pot deal. But I'm just going to saute a little bit of garlic. You don't have to, but it just makes it, okay, what happened? Okay, there we go. Just gonna add the garlic, but I'm not gonna let it sit long in there because I don't like to burn garlic. That's just not a good flavor, yeah. Burning garlic adds a little bit of bitterness.
It's really
So,
true. Like
yeah,
you don't even want to walk away 30 seconds
yeah,
and it's going,
right.
right? But
And
I
it's
think it
going.
is nice when you add something into it. Like don't have fear. Like when the tomatoes do go in, it kind of stops that,
Right.
cools it down
And
enough, right?
the other thing I wanted to say is sometimes I add oregano in this. Oregano and Puttanesca sauce is really, it's a nice little added flavor. I got a little chili flakes, oregano, garlic. I'm going to put in my diced tomatoes. Bring up my nose. And oh, chili flake. Oh, oh.
I've done that before too with the steam.
Yep.
Like the chili
With
goes
the
up in the steam and clears you out. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so I had some jars of marinara in my cupboard, so I just opened up marinara. It could be tomato sauce, whatever you have, but it just makes it a little saucier. I've got my capers. I love capers. I've got some fresh basil, and what I love to do with my basil is I love to, and julienne, I just use kitchen shears.
I do love it. It is true. They're really nice to have. Handy
Yeah,
to always have it. We
and
don't think of that as a staple piece of equipment, but kitchen shears make a difference.
yeah, and you know, these are like $3 from Target. I just
Yep.
buy like one pair a year. I don't spend the $20 on fancy kind. I use them a lot. You saw I've got that little kind of boldy blender. I've got a small processor. I've got a lot of fun toys that I use on a regular basis. So they're all to me important. Okay, I'm going to turn this down a little bit. So basically what we're trying to do is we're trying to get the fresh tomato kind of cooked down a little bit. Flavors to meld. I've got olive oil, I've got the garlic, I've got the Kalamata olives, not yet Kalamata olives, which is really kind of what makes puttanesca.
It is so pretty. I mean, just right away, all that color, it is so beautiful.
Yeah. Because you've got the the capers and the olives, you don't really need salt in here. And what was I going to say? Oh yeah, sometimes I use green olives. I use green and black combo. So you can use Kalamata, you can use black, you can use green. I don't use usually straight green, but it's kind of fun to have green in here too. I like olives. Anybody have any questions? Again, this is really, really simple.
And you know, I think that, but that's what's so nice, right? We always think about, oh, we go buy these tomato sauces and these pasta sauces, and then if you turn it and look at the label sometimes, and you notice that the first ingredient may not be tomatoes, might be sugar, might be something, and by doing it this way, it's easy, has flavor, you are in control of what's going in it. And it's not hard, it's beautiful, and it makes a delicious sauce. So don't be scared of sauces, you guys.
And you don't, you know, the quality of the ingredients sometimes it's pricey. I mean, if you have these things at home, it's really easy to make. But you know, sometimes they use pretty low quality oils in sauces.
Yeah.
And yes, the sugar, added salt. Okay, so that's kind of cooked down. If you need more liquid, you could add a little bit of the pasta cooking water, which I did save. Thank you very much, you guys, for bringing that up. So I'm just going to add pasta. I probably don't need all of this that I cooked up. It's amazing,
and we did
right?
get a question as you're putting it in. What's the difference between a blender and a food processor, or how you use it? And what would you say to that?
I will show you. Okay, so I'm going to add just a little more.
That looks good.
Yeah,
and those are the perfect noodles. They'll get stuck inside. It's like a little hidden treasure.
Oh my goodness. Yum,
and
yum,
one of the things we kind of said just in passing that you might not know for the people who don't make a lot of sauces is that water, that starchy water that you're cooking the pasta in. We were always saying if you take one of those glass measuring cups, take out a cup of that water on the side because there's starch in that water if you're making noodles like this. If your sauce gets a little, I don't know, quote unquote dry, you can add a little of that and that water, it doesn't thin it out always. It helps thicken it and gives it more. So it's a nice thing to just get used to doing before you throw out all your pasta water in the sink. Perfectly written, Heather.
I
You're
was
so
looking for
fast.
my
Yeah.
bowl,
There we
my
go.
little
I'm gonna.
serving bowl. Okay. All right. Okay.
She
I'm
always
gonna
has the
take this
best
off the
serving
heat.
bowls.
She does.
Yeah.
This is why she's a chef. This is her thing. Look at that. And look at how quickly that came together.
Yeah, right. This is what, these, it's just, actually, all of these are great for like quick weeknight dinners. It's where you come home late and you're hungry and you just know what to do. Okay, let me move this burner so I can showcase this. Put this down on the floor. Okay, great. Oh, one wayward caper.
One keeper right there. Perfect.
And what you can do too, make real pretty, is just put a little bit more julienne with basil here. That green is always so nice to pop the color of the red. Okay. There we go.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Delicious.
We're gonna have a hard time. We're gonna have this.
I know. Look
dinner
at that.
tonight. Okay. Any questions on that?
And remind me, which noodles did you use for this one? Was it
These are
chickpea?
rigatoni.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, but the type
Rigatoni.
of just regular rigatoni, or
This
they
is
whole
regular.
wheat, or
This is not.
regular?
No.
Okay.
It's regular rigatoni, made in Italy. But I don't know if I've seen whole wheat rigatoni. So I've got rice noodles. Yeah, the next one are going to be chickpea noodles.
And the thing that's so nice is that's gorgeous is there are so many different noodles now, and it isn't always that you have to do them. You can get whole wheat noodles, you can get lentil noodles, you can get rice noodles. It used to be you didn't have that variety, or you'd have to go to all these different shops to get them. And now most markets have a variety of all of them. So get excited, try different things.
Whatever, yeah, whatever is your favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is my question. This is my trying to answer the question. This is a food processor. This is a small food processor. This is oh gosh, maybe 4 cups. Two cups. 2 cups. 2 cups is a good amount to process in here. You might hold a total of 4. It's a Cuisinart. Someone gave it to me. It's great. A blender is, are you all familiar with a blender?
Well, I mean, I think what you could show it, I think it was what you did, the silken tofu. There are different sizes, like that was a smoothie size, or it can be here. Yeah. Or I'm going to have, I'm going to add it here. Let me add you in the
this is
frame.
well
There you go.
used. This is a small blending cup for a Vitamix. Yeah, so a blender. And then I had the,
Does it make a difference how you when she was asking also, like when you were doing your sauces, when you would choose the food processor versus one of the blenders?
you could food process there's a little bit of dynamics. You can choose the food processor if it's not too big, because if you put in that silken tofu and you try and blend it and the base is too big, it might not catch and blend it well. Let me show you. I have 2 food processors.
Although we don't want to cut into your time too much, you've got about 20 minutes left for your last recipe.
It's okay. One sec.
Okay,
so good. My second food processor is like a 7 to 11 cup kind. Yeah.
Wow.
So you kind of see it's a good size. And this someone gave it to me too. It's great. But to try and put in a box of that silken tofu, I don't think it would catch it. It would blend it well, and if it's too big. And this other one, probably could work, but it might be too small. So you might have to add a little bit more in. So because I cook a lot, I have a lot of tools.
Yeah. But I think that you really said it well. Think about it like if you're blending, just like with a smoothie or something, and have a small amount, it is nice when you have those smaller size and you want to get it nice and creamy, chunky food you might be doing in the food processor more.
So this
Nice.
one, the one that we did the silken tofu sauce, that kind of looks like a bullet, right? I think, is that the best way to describe this? How you describe these kinds?
Yeah, bullet
So,
or one of those like smaller,
so
yeah, and they're not that expensive. I mean, they can be, but you can also get some that aren't expensive.
well, and
She's a chef, so she has a lot.
yeah, so they have the small, this came with it, right? It has this small one that can do like a coulis or a chimichurri, like a green sauce, or a small bit amount of pesto, or I make salad dressing in this, just a small amount of salad dressing. These are great. I really
Yeah.
like these. So I know that kind of seems like a lot, but depending upon, how you cook, some of these tools might be something you want to add to your repertoire. I also have gotten I've gotten these at Savers and the thrift stores. So, they're around. It's not like you have to always buy everything brand new. So that's
You know
another
what's nice
option.
that they're doing now too with the food processor? Some of them come with a smaller size one, and also with these bases for the blenders. They have like the Ninja, or they have ones that can be big, and then they have the smaller size smoothie cup size. So yeah, have fun. If you start noticing you're needing it more and using it, it's a good tool to invest in. Thank you, Chef.
Okay. All right. So the third recipe we're going to make is the pesto. And this is one that using the pasta cooking water would be really helpful, just because it'll expand, what's it called? Thin out the
Hmm.
pesto sauce. So I am going to use this little food processor.
Oh, Heather, while she's getting that set up, do you want to
Yeah,
put the
should I pull it
pesto
up?
one and then I'll
Okay.
put it over on the side? And the thing I think that's important is we always, our traditional pesto is basil, but pesto can be the green that you choose, right? So,
Yeah, yeah, I've done kale,
yeah.
kale is, and then that's kind of like that green sauce I was talking about. But yeah, you can do arugula, kale, oh gosh, so many different things.
That's good. And you can put it down there if you want. Heather, this one, she is using the basil, the garlic, the olive oil, the traditional. But what I
Mm-hmm.
love here is, pepper to taste, and then the pine nuts or macadamia nuts or walnuts. I think you're going to talk about that in
Lots of
Parmesan
options.
cheese or nutritional yeast. And what I think I love a lot about this, Chef, that I'm excited with you to talk about is it really is to taste and what you like,
Yes,
right?
that's the
So
important thing. I
perfect.
think that's just the best part about cooking is you can just make it however you like it.
Maybe some of us.
Yeah, because a lot of people I cook for, everyone has their own taste, right? I don't want it, too salty, or I don't want it too spicy, and like I'm allergic to nuts. What do I put in? You can put in pumpkin seeds, right? Sunflower seeds. I don't do dairy, so tonight we're going to do nutritional yeast. It's great because you can play with it depending upon, what's going on. And if you don't want raw garlic, you can saute this in just a little bit of oil and then add in the cooked garlic, so there's options. And what I've done here is I got a big bunch of basil at Times Market because they tend to sell bunches of basil. I rinsed it, I washed it, I took it off the stem, and that's why it's kind of limp looking, but I just did it right before class because basil can turn black really easy. The big challenge on buying basil and not using it right away is it goes black. So when I buy a bunch of basil, I mean, I've tried all different kinds of ways, but you can put it in a vase of water and to leave it out, trying to and just make sure the stem's in the water. I doesn't always work for me. Sometimes it gets all limp, but at least it doesn't turn brown. You can use it. It's limp. You can just wrap it in paper towels and put it in a Ziploc bag that's sealed. That's pretty much where I have the best bet. But if you're going to buy basil that's damp from the store, because I find that like for some reason Safeway, for instance, sure other stores do it, but Safeway has that little, the sprinkler thing, and it goes right over the basil. And so you buy the basil already wet. So you're going home and it's like, if you're not using it right away, it's a good challenge to try and make it, keep it so it doesn't turn all black. So, sorry, that was a long-winded run-on sentence explanation about basil. So basil's going in. I have salt and pepper. You could also do, if you want a little spicy instead of pepper, you can do a little bit of cayenne. I got my nutritional yeast. Then you can use Parmesan. You could do half-half. I've got macadamia nuts because that's really my favorite, is macadamia nuts when I'm making pesto. And some olive oil. So
and maybe we want to showcase, if there's time, the nutritional yeast, because not everybody might be familiar with that one, I'm guessing.
Nutritional yeast is something that people who are avoiding cheese for whatever reason can't have cheese. It's got, I don't know if you ever heard of people put it on their popcorn to make it kind of cheesy popcorn. Yes, we can talk about that, and I can show you the container that I keep refilling, because you can buy it in bulk at the health market.
Lots of B vitamins in there too.
Yeah, lots of B vitamins in it. Okay, so let's see. So I said, what did I say? 3 tablespoons olive oil. So I'll do 3/4 of a 1/4 of a cup. Right. Did I get everything in? Pine nuts.
Well, you did the mac nuts instead, right? So that's great.
Right, but the nuts, the salt, the pepper, all of it. Okay, all right. So I'm going to process it. Where's my lid? Oh my goodness. Here's my lid.
A key thing to put on.
It would help, yeah. Okay. So I'm going to pulse it to start. And then I am going to scrape the sides down a bit. But you can see this is like a perfect amount. It's catching, it's blending. It's making a nice kind of a paste. And, I'm a firm believer of tasting as you go along. So you can, like at this point, taste it. Does it need maybe more salt? Or garlic? I wouldn't think so, but maybe. And then, so it's kind of chunky. Can you see that? Is that contrast help?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you, because I just cooked, this is one of my favorites. I like the chickpea pasta from Safeway. It's around, probably Whole Foods, down to earth, but Safeway has a good O brand, different shapes. They have like spaghetti noodles, but I really like chickpea pasta. I know, Heather, you were talking about red lentil. I've made red lentil pasta before. There's a lot of different bean pastas out there. There's an edamame, black bean I've used, several years back.
Maybe just can you just show the protein and the fiber content, just to show the change?
Yeah.
I mean, some of these pastas, right?
Yeah, so the protein, I'll just say it first and then show you. So the protein is 10 grams per serving. This box is 4 grams. Did you say sodium?
And the fiber. The
fiber is 4 grams of fiber. So yeah, it's a great way to get some additional protein in.
Yeah.
So I cooked up the rotini just before. I've got some pasta water. I might want to add a little bit. I'm going to get a bowl. Oh, I've got this red bowl. That'll be nice. Oh, and I'm going to toss in some rotini in the pesto. I'll probably get my gloves on and just kind of mix it in a little bit.
Perfect. Sorry,
Right.
that's a little blurry, but for the people, especially some of our healthy balance folks, if you're in your class and you're label reading, it's always good to see and maybe compare to what you have.
Yep. Yeah, it's a big difference from
Hmm.
traditional pastas, right? To be able to get the protein and the fiber. So if you are kind of doing a meatless Monday type of an event, this is a great way to still get your protein in and enjoy some pasta, a little bit less guilt associated with it, and lots of health and vitamins and vegetables and all of that.
Right. And that's, yeah. And it's just trying something different and go into it knowing the texture may taste different than what you're used to. But then when you start eating them, you kind of get used to this texture and you go back to something else and you're like, wow, that's a lot. And your mind's set on having, if you think of that healthy plate, a quarter of your plate or a quarter of your meal as healthy starch. So it's fun to try things and find different ways to add in vegetables, legumes, things that you might want to be getting more of and you don't know how to try it. So
So I'm going to start out without adding any liquid in, just to see
hugs
blends,
hugs those noodles.
how it hugs those noodles. Oh, great way to
That's
put
the
it. Yeah,
fun is
rotini. Yeah.
all
And
those
this is
little
great,
foods.
just like this. I mean, in the sense of, right? So you're getting the pasta all kind of in all those nice little curves of the fusilli, also called rotini, fusilli rotini pasta. And after this, at this point, if it's really well coated, right? Can you see how it's getting nice and that's going to be delicious. You can add this point like some chopped fresh tomato, some avocado, some black olives, right? So you can then kind of bump it up a bit instead of just eating pesto pasta. You
Hmm.
can add all kinds of some fresh vegetables,
It's good hot or cold, so this would be a
hot
great
or
meal prep
cold.
for the week or for
Yeah.
kids, right? A lot of
Hmm.
kids love pesto pasta. My daughter
Hmm.
always ate that. And so,
Yeah.
but you can feel a little bit better about the ingredients and the types of foods
Hmm.
they're getting. Yeah.
Right. And then if you have leftover pesto, you've got a good chunk right here. I'll taste it and then see how much more I want to add. I would put it in some sort of an airtight container. And if you can make it flat, you can put like a little layer of olive oil, and that will keep the air from hitting the basil and turning it brown.
It is a great tip. And the thing I also, when I do that and you take it out, sometimes I have vegetables from my sheet pan cooking
Mhm.
and that I haven't put a lot of anything on. And it tastes so good just in mixed in your veggies without anything else. And that little oil can be used if you have it. So pesto's delicious on so many things.
Right.
Look at that, chef. You did 3 pastas. I can't believe how much you get done in less than an hour. It's just fantastic. I know you did some prep, but 3 great meals. Imagine all if you do a little bit of prep, the leftovers you have. I think these taste better sometimes to me the next day because the sauce really marries a little more with everything. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it looks delicious.
And you can put, I've got, if you have some chopped nuts, I have some nuts, but they're not chopped yet. But, some chunky macadamia nuts on top would be nice, or whatever it is you're using for the nut or seed. You can top it with a little bit of that, or if you're using Parmesan, even if you did nutritional yeast, you could do a little bit of Parmesan. So just some ideas, how to bump it up. Or if you've just got kids who like pesto pasta, there you go.
Wonderful. Great
Mhm.
ideas.
Questions?
See what you got. And then maybe, yeah, I'll have you have all 3 and
Yes.
I'll take a photo of your beautiful. I'm hungry. That's all I
I'm
can say is I'm
sorry.
hungry.
Sorry,
You
you're
always
so
make me
far
hungry.
away.
I know.
Okay, there we go. All right.
Look at that. Beautiful.
Back there.
Perfect.
Does that work?
Trifecta of flavors.
Yeah, this is quite the
Beautiful.
variety there.
Covered all the flavor profiles.
Mm-hmm. Does that work, or should I
Yep.
scoot
No, no,
it?
no. That's just fine. I can grab it.
All right. And do you want me to go through the other stuff yet,
Yes,
Allison? Pull
let's
that up?
just, yeah,
Okay.
exactly. We have a few more minutes
Yeah.
left. Thank
Okay.
you.
And then
That's
we'll pull
perfect.
that
Well,
back up again
yeah,
and
and we'll
end
let
with that
Chef be on
beautiful
there.
scene.
Yeah.
And please
Mm-hmm.
chat in with us what you guys are thinking. If this seems doable to you, we'd love to hear about it. And any questions that you might have. And just as a reminder, we do this monthly, so we hope that you'll join us next month when our topic will be quick and easy meals. So see what we're going to have with that. And like I mentioned earlier, if you want some support, maybe you're finding that you're attending the class, but maybe not always finding it to the kitchen to actually make the food, maybe partner with a wellness coach, right? We can help to put that into action, or you can partner with our coaches with a variety of different topics. Maybe it's getting better sleep, reducing stress, getting some movement going. These are free resources for you, so we hope you'll take advantage of it. And then we have our other classes. We have a lot of them listed here. I don't know, Allison, if you can also put
Yeah, let me
that
do
into
that.
the chat.
Hang on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great.
Give me one
And these
second.
are our one-time classes. They are also virtual. They're taught over Zoom by registered dietitians and wellness coaches. So, you know, expand your repertoire, right? See all the different classes we have to offer. They're offered every month. So whether you do it now or 3 months from now, just we want you to be aware that these resources are available. And with that, just a thank you. Thank you for showing up today. Thank you, Chef Alyssa, for inspiring
Yeah.
us
Yes.
and encouraging us and helping us to build confidence, because sometimes it feels really scary or kind of foreign territory to venture into some of these things. We're trying to eat healthy, and a lot of people just get stuck on salads or, you know, just salads, right? We kind of
Yeah.
get tired of eating the salad, and you give us different ways to kind of get out of that box, because if we don't have variety, we're probably not going to sustain it long term. And we want this to be a lifestyle change, and hopefully your family and friends and loved ones can benefit as well. Create some new dinner conversations.
That's it. So we'll take
Yeah.
that down and finish with a view of Chef and the food. Chef, I might have you move one step over towards your picture. So there we go. Thank you, Chef Alyssa.
Thank
Look at those
you.
great
I want to clap.
meals. I know, me too. That
Wait, do
was
we have those little
great.
reactions? There
I
we
know
go.
our little, thanks for joining us. We look forward to seeing you next month in our,
Yeah.
and here, I'm going to put that, I put it in the beginning of the chat, but I'll add that one again, or the rest of the year if you don't have that flyer, so you get excited about what's coming for culinary medicine. So I will add that too. So if there are no questions, we wish you happy cooking and a
A
really
great
get
evening.
curious and have fun.
Yeah, have fun with it. That's a part of it. Don't be
Yeah,
afraid to make mistakes. And sometimes, you know, maybe it turns out better than you expected. And sometimes maybe if, you know, you need a second attempt at it. And that's okay too, right? So thank you, Alyssa.
Thank
yes.
you.
Thanks
Take
everyone for
care.
joining us. See you next month.
See you
Bye.
next
Oh,
month.
we're coming over, flying over for that dinner
I
right there.
know.
I
See, there's
know.
even 3 meals, one for
I
each of us we
know.
can
One
share.
for each of us sharing. I feel like if we had a lazy
Uh,
Susan in the middle, we'd be spinning it around.
Absolutely. It'd be so fun to try those different flavor
I know.
profiles. Yeah.
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 All right.
Okay.
Thanks
All
Thanks,
right.
again.
everyone.
Bye, you
Bye-bye.
guys.
All right.
Mhm.
Thanks, Alyssa.
Thank you. Gonna turn this.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep. Have a good evening, everyone.
yeah. Thank you.
Okay. We'll be in touch for next month.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. Thank you. Have a good evening.
You
Bye,
too.
everybody.